Obamacare.
Well, Wolf, what White House officials are saying is that the president was talking about the vast majority of Americans who get their health care through group plans, through Medicare, Medicaid, perhaps the VA, not this 15 million pool of people who are right now receiving their health care insurance through the individual insurance market. That represents about 5% of the people who are in the insurance market right now. And when I asked Jay Carney, does the president regret making these comments, he said no, that the president was not misleading the public and that the people who are receiving these letters in the mail right now saying that their plans are being changed or discontinued, that those people are being affected or impacted by the insurance companies, not Obamacare. Here's what Jay Carney had to say. Did the president mislead the American people when he made that comment repeatedly?
Jim, no. The president was clear about a basic fact. If you had insurance that you liked on the individual market and you wanted to keep that insurance through 2010, 11, 12, 13, and in perpetuity, if you wanted it and it was available, you could. You were grandfathered in. What no healthcare reform could envision or could responsibly stipulate is that any plan that might come along in the next few years would be grandfathered in, because that would undermine the basic premise of providing minimum benefits for the American people. So again, in all of these cases, what is absolutely true is that if you had a plan before the Affordable Care Act that you liked on the individual market, and your insurance company didn't take that away from you and offer you instead something else that you then purchased, but they provided you the same plan this whole time, you can keep it. And that's true.
So White House officials going on to say that people who may end up losing their insurance coverage on the individual market or see it changed, they do have the ability to buy insurance coverage through the Obamacare website or through the Obamacare call center, and that those policies, while they may be more expensive, are going to offer more coverage, and at the same time, subsidies may be available to those consumers at the same time, Wolf. So that is the official word here from the White House. But keep in mind, Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius, she's going to be up on Capitol Hill tomorrow. Expect many of these questions to be aimed at her as she appears before the House. And also, the president will be in Boston tomorrow talking about the fact that his health care law was modeled after what was passed up in Massachusetts by a governor named Mitt Romney. Romney will not be at that event. We've talked to aides to the governor who say he will not be at that event. But expect the president to make that connection between his health care rollout and Mitt Romney.